Hey everybody, it's Dan the Red, welcome back to what the fuck? Shining Song Starnova, there we go. Right then. It's the next day. So, of course, the purpose of a talent agency was to sell its talents. Whether to record labels, magazine publishers, television stations, or film studios, it had to be constantly advertising our employees. To that end, I had arranged for a professional photographer to come into our office and take professional portraits of all our workers. I cleared out a section of our office and dropped down a white curtain from a whiteboard to jerry-rig a makeshift photo stage. It was a far cry from the extravagant photo shoots of my previous workplace, but for now, this is the best we could do. The girls lined up to get their portraits taken one by one, or at least that was the plan. Maria, what's the matter? You out drinking late again? Can't really help it. I didn't got to work till 4 a.m. You know, I really don't know how old geezers twice my age can smoke and drink the night away and then show up to work the next day totally fine. Baldy showed up again to complain about his ex-wife. Kept ordering whiskey all night long. After the 4th, when I was already feeling kind of out of it, didn't know what really happened from the 7th on. I decided to turn a blind eye to what I was hearing. While certain agencies would no doubt have thrown a hissy fit about one of their talents moonlighting at a hostess bar, it was clear all the girls here had their various circumstances. I was no exception myself. Anyways, I knew well enough the girls here had to supplement their income with additional jobs to survive. Becoming an idol wasn't a walk in the park. The world spun around according to its own rules, and nobody here was going to change that. First up, Shimazaki-san.
Hi.
Oh, Jesus, that's... Okay, hi, you're cute. Sami stood in front of the camera and put on her best smile. Shimazaki-sami, formerly the Golden Calf. She appeared to me as the girl next door kind of persona. Of course, those kinds of characters have been popular forever, although in more recent years they suffered from competition with newer, more aggressive character types. Basically, they appeal to the more conservative fans who like something traditional. Unfortunately, she was avoiding contact with me at all costs thanks to that incident. Which we still don't know what that is. Next up, Kashiwagi-san. Okay, yeah, nice pose. Aki struck a dynamic pose, with a finger outstretched toward the camera. Kashiwagi Aki, perhaps the girl with the greatest potential here. While she was obviously going to have to drop her child idol image, she still had ample time left in her prime. It was hard to pin down exactly what her personality was like. She was a shapeshifter, able to play to her audience's expectations. Honestly, Aki was whoever people wanted her to be. She was a child molded and raised by this industry. Was I supposed to be concerned or proud about that? Concerned. Definitely concerned. I mean, I suppose proud and attacking the fact that she's been able to adapt, but the fact that she's had to in and of itself is, you know, unhealthy. Yeah. Throat's getting all fucked up. I need to refresh my tea after recording this. Next, Yamamoto-san. Just try. Okay, not bad. Maria gingerly stood up and put on a well-rehearsed smile. Yamamoto Maria. She had the most experience out of all the talents here, but also came with an assortment of liabilities. She was also a former Golden Calf talent, no doubt that threw under the rug as soon as she outgrew her use. After some research, I discovered she had debuted 7 years ago in the 21-member Quasar unit, but never attained much notoriety. Huge units were like that. Most were set up to encourage infighting amongst the members that tried to climb into the coveted top spot, while those unable to survive the bloodbath were pushed into obscurity. Now, after she turned 24, Golden Calf quietly retired her, and then she wandered jobs until she ended up at Shining Productions. Now she was a jaded woman of 25 years with an alcohol and tobacco problem. She's as old as I am, and then again, I guess, considering the industry and all that fucked her over, she, has reason to be way more bitter than I am, so, okay. It's just, like, they're acting like she's ancient. I know in industry terms, sure, but still, goddamn, it's making me feel older just by thinking about that. Ugh. I'm not even fucking 30 yet, god damn it. I've been it before I am anyway. When you think someone like that could never become an idol, you'd be surprised just how common those problems were, even amongst the most popular idols. Hey, I'm not here to sugarcoat this business. I've seen some crazy stuff myself. Tanabe-san. Yeah. Nan leapt up and grinned stupidly to the camera. Tanabe Natsuki, a true wild card. She had no prior experience in the industry. Honestly, she had a huge mouth which leaked the worst possible words at the worst possible time. However, she had an incredibly fit body and stamina of a beast. Nowadays, honest girls are popular too. This industry had been spewing out obedient wife material for decades. Now people wanted to see girls in their native habitats. Or at least, that would be the angle I would use to sell her. Watanabe-san? Julie flipped her long hair back and smiled confidently. Watanabe Julie, a stunningly good-looking spider. Girls like her like poking little stab wounds into men's hearts, their fangs dripping with tranquilizing venom, a cocktail of both pain and pleasure. According to my research, she had a long history of changing agencies due to various reasons, one of which no doubt involved her biting personality. Given how hush-hush her previous employers have been about her, I suspect she's gotten herself into quite a bit of controversy. Ah yes, the great taboo topic of the industry. I best stop here before the powder keg bursts. While she had the looks to become a top idol... Ah, damn it, what the fuck? Oh. What was inside her pretty exterior was another matter entirely. And now she was squarely my responsibility. Currently, she was beyond what I could handle, so I was more than content to observe what happened next. Hashimoto-san? Of course. Mika stood and posed in an outlandish fashion. Hashimoto Mika. Despite her bizarre personality, it didn't take long to figure out that she was actually the shyest of the group. For the most part, she avoided contact with the girls, and generally came off as a recluse. Most likely, her role-playing was a defense mechanism she used to communicate with others without exposing her real self. She's Rika. While one may be left wondering how a girl like her could ever become a pop sensation, Mika was thoroughly a girl of Neo Akiba. A recluse with no life, no friends, and an obsession with late-night anime. She was the female embodiment of a chakram. Oh yes, Mika, Mr. Producer understands you. Oh wait, what was I thinking? When I was born and raised a Akiba man myself, as you could expect from my current line of work, my job was to be her professional manager, nothing more. I put my thoughts to order. Akimoto-san? Cute. Nemo acknowledged me in a sing-song manner and smiled absent-mindedly in front of the photo stage. Akimoto Nemu, the daughter of a local real estate magnate. A life of plenty had no doubt made Nemo completely oblivious to the toils of the common folk, and now she floated about in her own realm without a worry in the world. Looks like I was going to be playing babysitter for the rich now. In any matter, she had a bombshell of a body and a personality made for an idol. For all intents and purposes, I should be glad to have lucked out and picked up a candidate with such high starting stats. Plus 5 the charm. Further, having the backing of a rich and powerful family could have benefits of its own. It definitely looked like Nami was a winner, to the point where somewhere deep inside of me I had to wonder if she was too good to be true. With that, the photograph session was over. After speaking to me, the photographer packed up his equipment and left the office. Hey, Onii-chan, do you have a name for a unit? Unit name, huh? We're gonna need one if we're gonna debut, you know. Aki was certainly right. In fact, I had spent the last couple days thinking about this very topic. Oh, I've been giving it a crack. Really. Not open up a notebook, almost exploding with excitement. How about Sunshine Splash? Nah, too generic. Sunshine Sunday. Why Sunday? How about something that I think is supposed to be French? I don't know. I can't pronounce that. Yeah, thank you, Julie. Exactly. Yes. Too hard to pronounce. What the hell is that? French? Actually, I've already assigned a unit name. 7 faces turned towards me. Oh my god, the judgment from these 3 here. The girls simultaneously leaned into my desk, their faces looming over me like 7 carnivores who had just cornered their prey. Considering that their futures are effectively in your hands, yeah, that's kind of the point. I spun my computer's monitor over to face them, revealing a spreadsheet with the word Starnova written on top of it. Starnova? It means new star in Latin. Sure. Close enough. I believe it was a fitting title for our new group. Well, I guess I could live with Starnova. Still sounds a bit generic to me. Oh my god, enthusiasm curb it now. Suddenly Natan stood at attention as if she realized she had left the stove on at her home or something. What? You're scaring me. Starnova. Kind of like a supernova, eh? I read about it once. It's when a star finally reaches its end of the end of its lifespan and explodes in an enormous kapow. Yes, in the most, in the absolute strictest and most barest. God damn it! Why can't I speak? In the absolute barest notion, yes, a supernova is just a big explosion. Of course, there's way more to it than that. What causes it? What happens after it? A lot of that can factor, I think. And I'm not a fucking stellar physicist, whatever. Astrophysicist. That's the thing. That's the word. I'm not a smart person. Although saying that is gonna piss off. Yeah. Star reached the end of its life, and they're not gonna like that. Suddenly, I felt 7 pairs of eyes boring into my skull with disdain. Well, I didn't mean it like that. You messed up real good there, eh, P-kun? It's over. My intername's pretty much a summation of my career into a single word. I should have known things would go this way. Well, we'll go with the new star interpretation instead of that. I mean, a supernova isn't always... If I'm correct, it isn't always the obliteration of a star. In some cases, it can actually cause it to morph into a new kind of star. I think. Like I said, not a smart person. Don't know. Understood. Once again, everyone moped back to work, their motivation idling at the lowest possible bar. The second day of practice ended. Good work, everyone. Good work. Maria turned to her cell phone. Or turned her cell phone on. Was that... Yeah. Time for work again. Will you be alright? Yeah, I'm just waitressing at an izakaya tonight. At least I won't have to stand there and listen to some bald geezer's life story over whiskey tonight. Julie's cell phone chimed. That's my cue too. So suddenly looked on as Julie grabbed her bag and rushed out of the office. Alright, let's go for round 2. Maria stretched out, her bones creaking and cracking, then hustled out of the building as well. Oh, okay. Night shift. I sat at my desk, illuminated only by the light on my computer screen. Starnova, new stars, the beginning. No, not a beginning. For the better or worse, these girls' lives had already begun long before this unit. I wasn't producing a bunch of fresh-faced middle schoolers with big dreams of becoming Japan's next top idol. A shining, pure white symbol before which men prostrated themselves, untainted, perfect, immortal, unbound by pathetic human needs. A goddess, an icon of purity, an idea, not a human, not a girl. The girls before me were anything but that. They were broken, cracked, and by the very industry they chose to enter. They're human, is what you're trying to say, I think. Maybe once upon a time they were innocent young kids who thought that their stories would enter the happy concert in front of thousands of adoring fans. But the reality was that dream only happened to the luckiest 0.1% of girls who entered this industry. Or maybe only the 0.1 most shrewd, ruthless percent. Maybe the dream never existed at all. One day every kid had to realize the world wasn't fair. You're not the star of your own story. Life has no moral or point. It was just a long struggle to survive until you eventually got old and died. Wow, that is the outlook of a defeatist. I mean, yeah, sure, there is some truth there, but it's too bogged down in pessimism. Life has no meaning. Therefore, the meaning of life is to give life meaning. You make your own meaning for it. You're not necessarily the star of a story, but you are the star of your own story, actually, despite what he said there. Your own life is your own story. The universe doesn't revolve around you, but your existence sure as hell does. The door creaked open, interrupting my thoughts. Oh, hey. Mr. Producer? Shimazaki-san? She stood before me in the darkness. I need your help. What is it? It's Julie-chan. I let her to sigh. So Sasami was here to play a hero. I knew I was about to get wrapped up in something I would regret getting involved in. Shimazaki-san, I want you to think about the implications of what you're insinuating here, and what it would do to Watanabe-san if I were to take action. If you leave now, I'll carry on with my work as if this conversation never happened. Starnova will continue as planned. The girl's sudden shout took me aback. You called that? Mr. Producer, aren't some things more important than getting famous or shining on a stage? I know you think so too, because of what you did that day. What was this girl thinking? She was never going to become an idol with this kind of half-hearted dedication. Like I said, only the shrewd and ruthless survive in this industry. No wonder this lamb was dying here instead of still at Golden Calf climbing her way to stardom. I looked down at myself. Here I was too, just from the same boat. Ellipses, motherfucker. Alright, let's go. Mr. Producer. Yeah. Oh. Right. Is it gonna be like she's an escort or something? I don't want to leap to conclusions here, but I mean, the way she didn't really want to talk about it now that it's something that's important enough for her to want to drag me into it. That's kind of, that's what I'm assuming, but we'll see. I walked out into the bustling pleasure district with Asami. As usual, the streets were adorned with bright lights and bustling with Tokyoites. A flood of salarymen, couples, and single men looking to become coupled steadily flowed into the countless bars on the street. How was I doing? It's my second day as producer, but here I was, already getting myself into exactly the sort of trouble I wanted to avoid. She's been doing this for a while. Every night around this time, she picks someone up here. I bent down and whispered to her. What are you doing? Don't you know how much trouble this will make for Watanabe? Was this girl really here to help Julie? Or was she just trying to bring about a rival's fall? Of course, countless aspiring idols would eagerly turn on their teammates without a second thought if it meant they could gain some kind of an advantage. However, I got the impression that Sami was not that kind of personality. I know you're a good person. What Julie-chan is doing is dangerous, you know? You've got to help her, just like you helped me. I rubbed my brow in frustration. Well, okay. I like that this is piecing together their story more through events that are being played out as opposed to just a straight-up explanation. That's better. That's good storytelling. Having it be introduced in action and shown to you, even if obviously a lot of it is through text, through dialogue, it's being insinuated as opposed to outright just dropped in your head. Even if we don't know the specifics, you can kind of get a picture painted. She was involved in something. My character did something to stop it, and that screwed over both her and him. Maybe what he did was considered bad for business. Maybe whatever she was involved in, what she was being forced to do. Given the way her personality, that seems the most likely to me that she was being contracted into something. I couldn't believe this girl decided to trust me so easily. She thinks I'm going to help Julie? What naivete was this? Finally, we spotted Julie standing below a street lamp. The two of us took cover behind a bench and observed the situation. Due to the flood of people walking the walkways, the likelihood of Julie detecting us was minimal. A short time later, a salaryman approached Julie and discreetly slipped her an envelope. Julie pulled out its contents and counted the bills. Upon confirming payment, her personality changed in an instant. She wrapped her arms around the salaryman's arm, all smiles, and walked with him down the street. Come on, Mr. Producer, we have to follow her. Oh, this is going to be great. Sasami took off and tailed at the pair. With an enormous sigh, I took off after them. You know, if I didn't know you better, I would have thought you brought me here just to take out a rival. Hey, what do you mean? Isn't it obvious? I already have enough evidence to kick Julie out from the agency and probably sue her for punitive and liquidator damages to boot. She's committed serious fraud against the company. I know you wouldn't do that. Shouldn't you help her instead so that she can become an idol instead of falling into something a lot more dangerous? Look here, I'm an idol producer, not a priest. I got so into my speech I nearly walked into an incoming pedestrian. I spun out of the way and resumed my talk. My duty is to the company. If a girl brings risk, then it's my job to cut up the liabilities. Producer-san. I looked ahead to see Julie laughing and nodding at everything her date was saying. He reached into his coat and withdrew a present, which Julie accepted with delight. I shook my head. And from the looks of it, her mark's not, it's her mark that's in a whole lot more trouble than her. Eh? What do you mean? Look! Julie looked at her watch. Ah, looks like the initial time's up. Already? But I can do just 500 yen to hold hands. Or for a full 1,000, Onii-chan will put on Onii-chan's arm up against her chest. For real? Then 1,000 please. The poor sap handed her a 1,000 yen bill, which Julie pocketed all smiles. Yay, Onii-chan's so happy. She took his arm and held it warmly against her side, giving him a moment's side boob service. Before he could even react, Julie rushed him along. The total sucker tonight. I would make quite a bit off of him. I rubbed my face in dismay. What was this sad sight? I was dragged out here under the pretense of saving some poor girl from accidentally falling into the clutches of the human trafficking industry or something. But instead, I come out here to see her fleecing this poor man's paycheck dry, using nothing but smiles and sweet nothings. Clearly this world was a complicated place where the shrewd preyed on the gullible regardless of gender. I better start documenting all this so the ensuing termination of employment goes as smoothly as possible. Julie stopped in front of a high-caliber French restaurant with her mark. Hey, this much isn't a problem for Onii-chan, is it? What are those prices? I see. So it's too much. Julie disconnected herself from him and pouted. It just can't be helped then, eh? She took a step backwards, threatening to dissolve into the crowd. Of course Onii-chan can pay for it. Who do you think I am? This much is a piece of cake. Really? Damn it. Really? Alright. Julie rushed forward and wrapped herself around him again. The two of them entered the restaurant and sat down at a booth. Shortly afterward, the waiter delivered a basket of sliced baguette. Hey, Onii-chan. For just 500 yen, Onii-chan will feed him the bread. She will? Alright. He's not even asking questions anymore. With the passage of coin, Julie picked up a slice of bread. Say, ah. Seriously, clever girl. Using small but frequent microtransactions to make every interaction look cheap, but still racking up an impressive combined earning. Wow, it's like she's EA, but in human form. God damn. Well, EA, Activision, 2K, Ubisoft, all the fuckheads. She's probably taking home more than I do from my job. Do you think people are actually dumb enough to fall for chicks like this? I can't believe it. Well, dumb, lonely, both, yeah. I shook my head as the faux date went on, despair at the state of society bubbling inside of me. Finally, the two of them finished their dinner and left the restaurant. Despite his monthly paycheck most likely being nuked for the full course meal, the poor sap left with a completely blissful look on his face as Julie hung onto his arm. I guess it's time to call it a night. Really? But it's still so early. I know. For 2,000 yen, I'll give Onii-chan a goodbye kiss. But since I had such a great time, I'll give a 25% discount. A kiss? A real kiss? What, you never been kissed by a girl before? What a hopeless Onii-chan. Will Onii-chan be his first kiss? You are vicious, and I appreciate it. The poor sap literally went red in the face. Unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. This was the state of men in this country. Alright. If Onii-chan is alright with it, then it's only natural that a date would end with a kiss. Alright. The idiot eagerly opened his wallet and gave Julie 2,000 yen bills, completely forgetting about the aforementioned discount. As soon as the bills passed in Julie's pocket, she leaned in and gave him a swift peck beside his lips, more akin to a goodnight kiss given by a mother to a daughter in the romantic makeout session you see in Western movies. While he was still dazzled with the prospect of being kissed by a stunning girl like Julie, she leaped away and disengaged the deed. Deed already finished. Punctuation was there. Fucking use it. Or acknowledge it, I should say, not use. It was used. I just didn't employ it. Then I'll see you. It's over, but wait. You know how to call me. With that, Julie vanished into the crowd. I can't wait till next time. The now penniless man sighed in contentment. His wallet is empty as the contents of his head. Julie counted her earnings like a satisfied wolf that had just devoured a lamb. That guy was a total pushover. Now, on to the next client. The night's still young and there's more lonely otaku to fleece. Damn. I stood before Julie, both my hands on my hips, on my hips, with Sasami nervously hiding behind me. Producer-san? And Sasa-chan too? Julie looked nervously around for an escape path. Don't try to pull anything, I already saw everything. Shit. Well, it's not a big problem, is it? What's the big deal anyways? What I'm doing isn't that different from idle work in the first place. I let guys imagine I'm going out with them, and they pay me. It's not any different from working at a maid cafe or a hostess bar. Listen, you've disqualified yourself from ever becoming an idol. I'm going back to the office and drafting your termination notice. Fine. I admit it, you caught me red-handed. Producer-san, yeah, distracted. Fucking notifications. I admit it, you caught me red-handed, Producer-san. Looks like I'm totally under your authority here. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to make this disappear? Wow. Disappear? Oy. Level with me here, Producer-san. There's nothing in the world that can't be solved by the exchange of a favor for a favor, right? I shook my head. Had they witnessed the way she operated firsthand, I wasn't about to fall for her tricks. Hey, look here. Stop it. This isn't just going to disappear. This is going to haunt your career for as long as you're an idol. One day... There we go. The sight of Sasami and the verge of tears put a damper on my anger. What a fiasco. I should just have kept my nose out of this. But now that all this had happened, I had to act on behalf of the company. There wasn't much I could do anyways. Anyways, that's that. Since this happened so soon, the company won't press for damages or anything, but there's no way we're going to let you work at Shining Productions at this rate. Before the girls could protest, I decided to beat a hasty retreat. It's not my fault things ended up this way. I wasn't the guy who thought of the rules. None of this was my problem. You keep telling yourself that, yeah. I wash my hands of this. With those thoughts justifying my actions, I returned home for the night. And now I'm going to use this as a good point to end the episode, which has probably gone a little over long anyway. So, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. My throat hurts.